program at the Capitol. Meanwhile, you want to fix the VA system, Jim Dyer says, I actually bring back the earmarks. He's not kidding. Jim is with the Podesta Group, served under Presidents Reagan and George H.W. Bush. And your argument is what, Jim? That at least in the case of earmarks, you know where the money is being earmarked, right?
That's correct, Neil. And I think there's a lot to be said for giving the Congress greater involvement on a specific case-by-case basis with regard to some of the hospitals that have performed the poorest or who have had the worst track record of not being able to provide care. And I would like to do that as part of some overall resolution of improving the quality of care nationwide. But I don't know why we wouldn't want to give individual congressmen and senators the right to look at the situation in their home hospitals and make very specific recommendations and improvements.
No, Jim, I see where you're coming from, but the reason why so many Americans are doubtful about this is because they've been burnt by this, and they've been burnt by supposedly well-intended congressmen and women who say that they're going to keep an eye on that money for that purpose, but it goes to other purposes, or all of a sudden it becomes sort of like their own pet piggy banks to dole out as they see fit. And then earmarks that might start out for a good intention, yours, for example, to specifically look after a vet's interests that morph into something far worse.
Well, I understand that concern, and there have been abuses in the past, but the answer to these abuses is transparency. Let everyone know what you're doing, how much money you want, where the money is to go, follow it up with oversight hearings, follow it up with questions and answers.
But earmarks no, they never do that, Jim. You know what I mean? With earmarks, we knew where it was going or being wasted, and we had the proof in the pudding when we followed up on it. But my only concern is that whether it's a specifically designated pot or a big old pot, we all go to pot. In other words, the money gets absconded, misused, abused, doesn't go for the people for whom it was intended, in this case, vets.
Neil, that's especially true in a bureaucracy like VA, because there is no transparency. If the Congress is going to invest billions of dollars in cleaning up this system, right, my only point is you may have systemic problems nationwide, and you can fix them, but you also may have some very specific problems at individual hospitals, and I just believe you ought to give individual congressmen and senators the option to target those problems and to solve them.
All right, well, your trust in them maybe is a little more than mine, but Jim, it's always a pleasure having you. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Neil.
In the meantime,